You're listening to The Arts Show here on wrfm.ie, and if you'd like to contact us, you can email studio@wrfm.ie or text the word studio followed by a message to 51444. Now, Breda is going to introduce our next guests.
Our next guest is Grainne Samuel, and she writes under R.J. Samuel, and I'm dying to hear about all your latest publications. Welcome.
Hi Breda and Grainne, thank you very much for having me on the show.
To start us off, we're going to play one of your song choices, Mary Black and Ella McAvoy, Only a Woman's Heart.
Here it goes.
Thank you.
My heart is low, my heart is so low, as only a woman's heart can be, as only a woman's, as only a woman's, as only a woman's heart can know. The tears that drip from my bewildered eyes taste of bittersweet romance. You're still in my hopes, you're still on my mind, oh. And even though I manage on my own, my heart is low, my heart is so low, as only a woman's heart can be, as only a woman's, as only a woman's, as only a woman's heart can know. Restless eyes reveal my troubled soul, memories flood my weary heart. I mourn for my dream, I mourn for my wasted love. And while I know that I'll survive alone, my heart is low, my heart is so low, and only a woman's heart can be, it's only a woman, it's only a woman, it's only a woman's heart can know. My heart is low, yes my heart is so low, it's only a woman's heart can be, only a woman, only a woman, only a woman's heart can know. My heart is low, my heart is so low, only a woman's heart can be, only a woman, only a woman, only a woman's heart can know.
There's a song being sung somewhere by another you, another me. There's a place where you are, where a part of me will always be. Though I have stopped crying over you, still she holds my tears, and I've stopped waiting for you, still she holds my days. There's a song being sung somewhere.
Yeah, that was just an introduction.
That's a taster of songs, Sharon Murphy, that we're going to hear later after RJ explains it to us. So, Regina, thank you very much for coming in. Now, I know you a bit from Galway, but you're not originally from Galway, but you're recognised as Galway at this point. You're there a good long while, aren't you?
I'm there 30 years at the moment.
How many?
30 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I arrived in October 1984. But I'm actually of Indian origin. My parents are Indian from Kerala. And I was born and brought up in Nigeria. And I went to boarding school in India for a little while, up in the Nilgiri Hills, for about a year and a half when I was 7. Lived and studied in Nigeria. And then when I was 15, I started college in Nigeria, and my parents and my family moved to America. And my sister,
you're very exotic.
my sister and I then came to medical school here in Galway. So we arrived in October of all the times in Galway train station.
Because as well as having been an author, you're a doctor.
Yes, that's right. I got a lot of years medical school, but I didn't enjoy it. And I got introduced to computers in the middle of it in third year. And I was quite fascinated by them. So I did finish. I did my internship, and then I did a master's in IT. And I went into multimedia then. So
how long have you been at college? Do you mind me asking?
Well, it seems like forever, but it was a great college to go to, UCG at the time.
I was lovely looking to see you walk around. Isn't it?
It's absolutely beautiful. But I think in total about 8 years between. I took a year off between fourth and final med, and I did first and pre-med together when I came here. So it was a long time before I even met a patient, and so probably about 8 years of my life down there, and then did 2 years as doing the masters.
God, fair play to you. Very impressive resume.
I think I was actually the youngest doctor to graduate in Ireland. Yeah, because of the way I'd started. People, here you have to be 17 going in. So.
And would your sister have followed the same route?
She's older than me, and she graduated and she did her internship, and then she went to the US. She continued in medicine. She was a geriatrician in New York.
Okay, because I know I've known you a long time through Galway, but I didn't realise it was that long.
30 years, 1980. It'll be, and I'm leaving in April, and it will be almost exactly 30 years. Will be April 2014.
Because you're heading to the States.
I am, yeah.
And is there can I just ask, is there a draw there?
Well, my family are there, all my family in the States, and for 30 years I've lived here kind of away from family. And it's also, I got my green card, and so it's an adventure. It's an opportunity to go and see. And I do want to explore the writing full time, but I'm not sure yet. It's going to be wide open. And
what part of the States are you going to hit first?
I'm starting in New York. I'm landing with my little dog in New York. And,
little Cleo, who's out in the front studio.
So we're getting on a plane, and we're getting to New York in April. And because
you're bringing the dog with you, aren't you?
I am, yes. I never leave her, and I have to actually fly the opposite direction to get to New York. I have to fly the only way I can get her in the cabin with me. And it's going to be a bit of an adventure.
So you can bring her into the cabin with you?
Only on one flight.
Okay.
And one
tell us about that, just out of curiosity.
It's actually only Lufthansa Airlines. Dogs aren't allowed in the cabin on any other flight out of Ireland or the UK. So I was facing having to drive across to Germany, and it turns out I can fly Dublin-Frankfurt, and then I can fly, going the opposite, and then I'll be an 8-hour, 40-minute flight from Frankfurt to New York. She's going to be in a little carrier, supposedly at my feet, but knowing her, she'll be struggling to get onto my lap.
Well, at least you can bring her in the cabin. I think that's great.
Otherwise, I was going to be waiting for a ship, and there is only one ship, Kennels, and they booked out a year in advance. So
But
she's
that's also like really your trip is around the dog
yes,
rather than your
yes,
comfort
yes.
from the sound of it.
Once I land there with her and we're all okay, then I'll start looking at what I'm going to do.
And obviously vaccinations and everything.
They're all done and everything has been, I hope.
You were just telling us, because she's called Cleo, tell us the story.
Well, it was about she's about 8, so about 7 years ago, we were looking for a second-hand car for my partner, and we were going to look for a Renault Clio, and we were to meet them in the car park of a McDonald's. And we were waiting there, and I saw this little dog sniffing around, dodging cars in the car park, and so we rescued her, and the car never turned up, but so she was, that's why she's called Cleo.
Well, she's cute.
Yeah.
Well, one of the main reasons you're here today is to chat to us. Like, you have, only in the last couple of years, you've published 4 books. Now, I've read one of them, your first one, I believe, Heartstopper. And that was like, you obviously took from your past, because that was like, had medical bits, and it had Galway, and it had
IT bits. And
yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us a synopsis, or is that too much to ask?
Well, it's about because the medical devices industry is huge in Galway, and because I had the medical background as well, and I did a lot of research into pacemakers, but it was actually, I was sitting down to write a thriller, and had been to writing classes, and
that's what I was going to ask. Like, before you talk, what brought you into this? Because like it's a big step from.
Well, before I actually was in France for 3 years. I went in 2008.
Could you get back to the world and start penning where you've been?
That was an adventure, and I went over in 2008, and I was working as a programmer, but I decided to take a career break and ended up opening a bar restaurant, and I had no experience in that, but my partner was a chef, so we opened up a bar restaurant there. Now it was pretty tough. And I had been to writing classes before I left, but I hadn't really found a voice, I guess, at that point. When I came back, and after my experiences in France, I joined up a writing class in GMIT in Galway with Susan Miller-DeMars.
Oh, I've come across her.
With the Over the Edge, and she's a brilliant teacher.
She launched one of your books, didn't she?
She did, yeah. She launched Heartstopper for me. But I ended up meeting a lot of people at the class, a lot of people who became friends, and we all almost seemed to follow Susan around to every class that she had. There was a group of us, and then we had our own writers group from that. And I found that I was much more able to express what it was. I was starting to find my voice, and I was just starting to write what I felt, and it went very well, and I decided, actually with a few friends, we decided we were going to write a novel, and we started on it started as a medical thriller, and it actually became more of a story. It became. It's in a way it's very hard to market because it doesn't really fit any one genre. It is not a pure medical thriller. There's a lot of there is a lot of detail in it, but it's also a story about somebody who doesn't belong. It's an Indian protagonist, and it's a love story. It's a love story between 2 women, but my readers are they're very, very varied. I've got straight men, straight women. I've got people contacting me from, all over the world. Very few, but they do contact, and I appreciate it because they're all different.
Because you sell a lot of yours on Amazon, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Do you want to give the link if anyone's interested?
Well, it's Amazon.com, and if you do a search for Heartstopper, or my website is www.rjsamuel.com, and there's links, and you can go to, the books are available on all digital online sites, and they're available in paperback through CreateSpace, Amazon. So,
and as I know, I bought the copy I got just off yourself.
Yes.
So people can actually get physical copy. Where would, say for instance, is there shops at?
Well, Charlie Burns in Galway.
Oh, Charlie Burns, yes. Beautiful.
Yeah,
shop,
it is absolutely. They've been wonderful to me, and they have all 3. I have to get the latest book down to them before I go, and I've actually signed up with the Amazon program that if people go into a bookstore and ask for my books, then the bookstore can order them. and they'll be produced and sent. So if people felt like going into a bookstore, that would be great.
And come here, did you ever try go around the bookstores yourself, or are you just happy with Amazon?
I am actually quite introverted, and it is a problem for me to get to walk into places and ask. I did with Charlie Burns, and they were very friendly and they were very helpful. But I don't know whether, as an independently published author, I'm not really sure how to get my books into the main bookstores apart from through the Amazon Premium program. So,
but it seems like it has been what you have been doing to date has been working for you.
Well, it has, in a way that I am probably quite known in the kind of the community online. I'm starting to kind of I meet a lot of people online in a way, and a lot of my readers, it feels like I know them actually. So there is a community there that is very, very helpful, and that most of it's through through social media. I don't actually use Twitter that much, but I'm on Facebook a lot.
I see on Facebook. But that's only a couple of years ago you started, and that's quite prolific. You have 4
I wrote
novels written to date.
I wrote Heartstopper in about 5 months,
which is quick, isn't it?
Yeah, and I thought I would then take a little bit of a break and actually figure out what I was doing, and then I got the idea for Falling Colours, which was the second book.
Okay, could we have a summary of that?
Falling Colours actually came from I was still doing the writing class, and there was an exercise to write about in the magical realism, and I'd never done that before. All my books were kind of based on research and quite factual in a way, and it was very freeing to suddenly have to write about something that could happen, as if it was normal. And I thought a bit about it, and things that I had been writing in my writing exercises seemed to be happening in my life. And it was really,
let's write it down.
Yeah,
I wish this.
Well, in a way it was, and I do say sometimes when people ask how did the book come about, it was that I read The Secret, I remember at one time, and it kind of ruined my life.
You read A Secret?
The Secret, that
the book
at
The Secret,
that
like what Oprah's always on about.
Yeah, and it's about writing down what you want, but if you're not careful with knowing what you want, then, you can get into a mess, which I did. So when I came back...
That's for another program.
Yes. But, so when I came back and I was thinking about things, and, little things were happening that I'd written down. So it came when I wanted to write. I didn't want to write about a writer writing things and things happening. So, and I paint a little bit as well. So the idea came to be about a painter, and then the concept of vision painting came in. So I wrote a short story called The Vision Painter, and people loved it. And so that's what developed into the book Falling Colours.
I actually like the title Falling Colours.
Yeah, I love that actually. And it's a kind of a mix in a way about fall in colours as well as falling colours.
As in fall like autumn?
Yeah, it's the book has a lot of kind of autumn colours, and it's that feel about it. So I liked the play, even though it turned out to be a difficult title, in that my brother actually asked me, "Do you realise that's spelt wrong?" Because I'm using the Irish spelling.
But can it not be in with your writing, whatever way you put it? Is that not correct?
Yeah, it is. It's a bit difficult because depending on the audience, a lot of my audience is actually in the US.
That's why you're heading over? You'll be missing Galway, can I say so as well?
Thank you.
Will we play another song and then we chat about the other books?
No problem.
Here's Joanna Eden, Black is the Colour.
Black is the colour of my true love's hair. Her lips are like a rose so fair. She's the sweetest smile and the gentlest hands. And I love the ground whereon she stands. color of my true love's hair. Her lips are like a rose so fair. She's got the sweetest smile and the gentlest hands, and I love the ground where her arms
You're listening to the Arts Show on wrfm.ie, and Breda is interviewing R.J. Samuel.
And I actually do want to get the rest of your books, may I add, because I haven't seen you in a while. My plan was to at some stage get some of them off you, because I had the first one. Now, we've gone through the first two, but I actually must say I like the titles, because Falling Colours, I mean, I think they're very artistic titles anyway. But the third book is Casting Shadow.
Casting Shadows, yeah.
Yeah, could we go through that one first?
It's a sequel, it's a follow-on to Falling Colours.
Okay.
And they're both the books in the series, the Vision Painter series. So I had finished Falling Colours, and I hadn't actually planned for a sequel, and a reader emailed me and asked me, she had gone and Googled the concept of vision painting, and I didn't realize people would then be Googling something that I came completely out of my imagination. So she was asking about the background to it. So I decided I'd write another book. And,
just like you would.
Yeah. So I had kind of meant to take a break, but I
That's
wrote...
the second break you meant to take.
Yes, exactly.
In fairness, I don't think you take breaks.
No, I don't
you
seem
talk about
to.
Taking breaks.
I talk about taking breaks, but then I get involved in something else completely.
You'd be a goer.
I guess I would.
Yeah,
I keep thinking of myself not as one, but I end up doing things.
Yeah, and it's like the old expression, if you want to get somebody to do something, ask a busy person.
Right.
You'd be one of those busy people.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. But anyway, I wrote Casting Shadows. All of these I took 5 months, 5 to 6 months. And Casting Shadows, it was actually quite difficult. It's a darker book. Falling Colours, I had an amazing time actually writing it. I really enjoyed writing it.
Actually, sometimes I was going to ask you, like, writers seem to have a very specific regime when they're writing. Like, what would yours be? Like, some people get up early in the morning, some people walk.
Well, I was working, so I was at that time I was working full time, so I was writing in the night. But I found it quite hard after being at a computer all day to then go home and be at a computer again. I was doing it at weekends. But for me, actually, I found I got into a way of planning the books in the middle of Heartstopper that really, really helped. Helped me write. Well, it was from a book. It's actually called Story Engineering, and it sounds quite cold, but I had read a lot about writing, and this book just helped me as a logical person kind of structure it. So I do an outline, but I allow the creativity at the beginning to kind of make that outline. So for me, the structure really helps. It keeps me on track.
Would it be like mind mapping or something?
It is in a way. It's structuring it so that you have the story kind of planned out, but it doesn't stop the creativity. For me, it doesn't, because I can still find myself surprising, But it means I know where it's going. I ask the right questions right at the start, like what if this happens? What if this happens? And that's how I develop the story.
And physically, is this written on a computer? Is it written?
It's written
paper?
Most of the time. It's when I can. It's on the computer. And
is it like notes? Is it like, or is it all like?
No, I actually, as I write, I'm pretty much editing. Okay. So my first drafts are pretty clean, but I'm also a perfectionist, so sometimes that can slow me down. But then sometimes I go off and I write by hand, longhand, and my writing is atrocious. So
that's the medical training.
It probably is, yes. But and I sometimes, maybe I've lost good words in there. I don't know. But I then go back and I write in, and sometimes I change. But I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so it can slow me down. And the writing longhand does help. But I do both. It's whenever I can actually get to write.
And would you then at any point, obviously you edit, but would you get somebody to look over the book before you publish?
The first one I had somebody edit it. The second one, actually, we bartered, and someone did. I also have beta readers. I have to say, with the last book I had, I didn't have a formal editor, but I had excellent beta readers.
What's a beta reader?
Normally it's just somebody who gives you first impression, gives you and gives you feedback on it. And you can have different types of editors. You can have copy editors, developmental editors, and in this case, the beta readers turned out to be almost like editors. They were very strict, and they helped with because I had been writing almost on my own. I was very isolated writing with it. And to suddenly be able to discuss it, and it was a great experience, actually.
And where did you find these?
Funny, this was from discussion groups on Facebook about. For example, somebody contacted me or did a review of Falling Colours, and I was very, I started questioning her by email then about that review and why did she feel that way. I wanted to learn from it, and just from her answers, I was able to then take input from that into the next book. And I'm very open to kind of finding out why it is that somebody feels a particular way about it. If it's about the writing, I'm not precious about that in a sense, although I do have a very thin skin when it's, but I'm kind of getting more used to it. And I found I've learned much more, and I've improved by just, even if someone says something that I may not agree with first, it just I sit back, I think about it, and I think, why is it that they're feeling that? There's a reason.
It comes from a genuine place.
Yes, and so far the people who have have commented or reviewed, it's always from a genuine place. And once I can realize that, I've learned more from just saying, okay, why did you feel that way? And and they've given me the time to explain to me what it was that made them feel that about it. And so for the next book, I can address that. If it's something that I feel is really important. And that's kind of what I meant. I'm not going to change it. But
that stubborn gene that all artistic people have.
Well, you have to kind of be true to what it is that you feel about it. Otherwise, what's the point? I'm writing books for readers to enjoy. But if it's not coming from somewhere that I believe, then it isn't going to resonate as well with.
Now, you've a new book just out, and there's an interesting story behind this, which I'm not fully sure of, but I do know. Will you play the song now?
Yeah. Well, just the book.
Could you please give us an introduction into this song?
Well, the book is actually, it's called A Place Somewhere, and it's the latest book, and it took me 9 months to write. A lot longer.
Oh, it's taken longer?
Yeah, it took a long time.
You're learning too much.
And it was a difficult book to write, but it's about online deception.
Interesting.
And one of the characters in it is actually a singer in the Galway area, and she'd written a song. And I had followed Sharon Murphy for years ago when she used to play on the Galway scene.
Because Sharon, when she was young, used to live in Westport.
Right, yeah.
So we all know Sharon from way back, kind of.
Yeah. I think she's an amazing singer, and I've always thought that she had an incredible voice and incredible presence. So I obviously followed her then, and then I hadn't heard her for a while, and I heard her at the Hungry Bookworm in Loughrea, and we got chatting again. I had done her CD cover for her years ago when I had a graphics company. So,
God, I said, we've had a few careers now.
I have, yes, I have. But,
not over yet.
Well, hopefully not. But I'm hoping that I actually stick with, I stay with the writing and do other stuff. It was on my mind that I wanted to get a local singer to sing the song, and I procrastinated for a while, and finally I asked Sharon would she do the music for the words I'd written, and she agreed, and she took a few days and wrote what I think is a beautiful song. Or music for, and she sings it beautifully.
So is this
it's been released.
A song that would be in the book?
It's a song. It's a very strange. It's a song written by a character in the book, but Sharon is singing it, and Sharon's also mentioned in the book as that this character also sings Sharon Murphy's music songs.
Okay.
So it's kind of a strange thing, but. The words are very appropriate to the book, and people have linked the two and think they go very well together.
Is this the first broadcast of this song?
Yes. Well, it's on YouTube as well, and
okay.
it's on iTunes, and it's on Amazon. I found out that on Amazon, the MP3 store, Irish customers can't download it, so I put it up on YouTube, and so people can hear the whole thing.
Well, you've had a little teaser of A Place Somewhere already, and here it is in full, Sharon Murphy.
There's a song being sung somewhere by another you, another me. There's a place where you are, where a part of me will always be. Though I have stopped crying over you, still she holds my tears. And I've stopped waiting for you, still she holds my days. There's a song being sung somewhere by another you, another me. There's a place where you are, where a part of me will always be. Though I have stopped dreaming you, still she holds my nights. And I've stopped wanting you, still she holds my kiss. There's a song being sung somewhere by another you, another me. place where you are, where a part of me will always be. Though I have stopped needing you, still she holds my breath. And I've stopped loving you, but still she holds my heart. There's a song being sung somewhere by another you, another me. There's a place where you are, where a part of me will always be. We'll always be. We'll always be. We'll always be a part of me. We'll always be. We'll always be. We'll always be a part of me. There's a song being sung somewhere by another you, another me. There's a place where you are, where a part of me will always be.
That was a beautiful song.
Yeah, I must say I've always been a Sharon fan. Like I told you, so probably was unusual for her to do that collaboration as well, was it?
Yes, I think, I mean, she usually writes her own songs, and she'd actually asked me to take part in, she does a monthly gig where she invites performers to either read or, to sing, and she hosts and she sings. It's a place to be.
Yeah, I've got notification, like there's usually herself and two others.
Yes.
And you were one.
I was one, on the 16th of March, and, it was great to be invited, and it was great to read at something hosted by Sharon as well. And
yeah, we're hoping we'll get her on here someday. I can chat to her about it, but sometimes she's up this way and doing a gig, but she's also, Now, we didn't really get... No, that was lovely to hear that connection. And to be honest, it has the sound of Sharon's own stuff. If you heard that, you would have said, "Oh, did Sharon write it?" If you hadn't thought.
Well, she wrote the music for it, so and with her voice, it's kind of unique in a way. So the words are actually from the book, from my words from
A Place Somewhere.
A Place Somewhere from the book.
This hasn't been launched yet.
The book, well, it hasn't. It's on Amazon and it has been since March 10th, and it's selling well. It's in kind of the charts at the moment. So, and it's getting good reviews already, which is good. But we, do need people to kind of leave reviews. If, anyone listening, if you're ever reluctant about reading or writing a review, just going up there and writing a few words, it makes such a huge difference to an author. And if, it helps even just to keep people writing in a way, just to hear some feedback that way. So if...
would you generally respond to people that put up reviews to you?
If someone emailed me, I will always respond, and we usually end up, chatting, and I've made friends that way. But when someone puts up a review on a site, I don't. You're not really supposed to comment either for negative or positive.
Oh,
you don't,
really?
yeah.
Can I just say, I find the covers of the book, I know you're not supposed to judge a book by the cover, but I find them quite attractive. It's the sort of thing, it doesn't say chick lit, it doesn't say, thriller, it just says good novel to me.
Great. Well, I designed all the covers.
God, you're a fairly talented woman, aren't you?
Well, I try and kind of learn in each field that I...
This The Falling Colours, is that like a track in ground?
It's kind of autumn colours, and I think it kind of brings across because there's kind of the woods where she lives. Kieran, the vision painter, lives in Connemara, in a little house near the woods, and she cycles down this track to the restaurant where she works, and so it's kind of that feel of... I'm actually redesigning the covers of the Vision Painter series. So both books, I'm redesigning the covers, and I want to make them more of a series.
So the stronger
the identity of them, yeah.
Well, there is a link. There seems to be follow through because, like, a place somewhere has got like, is it trees and kind of like a fog type imagery or?
It has it's kind of.
Is that your own face?
No. No, I wouldn't really use my face on. I was going to put my face on the back of it, but I was too smiley in most of my photos, and it just didn't suit the style of the book. So, but I might end up using my author photo with Cleo. But I was thinking that probably doesn't come across as very professional either. But I've got nice.
That's the thing though, about and it's your thing. You can do.
Exactly, as an indie publisher or author, I guess I could, but.
And would you look for? Did you ever plan to look for, say, an agent or that type of thing? Or?
When I started out, I did kind of try to see what I was supposed to do, and part of it was, you're supposed to find an agent, and that's the only way to get published. And at that point, I couldn't face rejection, and I know everybody does get. I just couldn't imagine, getting a rejection for something that felt so, personal. So, in a way,
you've been toughened now.
I'm still not sure, and I'm actually I always do. We always think, am I doing the right thing going indie? I like the control that I have over what I put out and the covers so I don't know, but I haven't talked to anyone. I haven't put the books in front of anyone in the publishing. From
some friends of mine, it does seem to be a very long and very hard fought process. I know somebody who spent years and years and then got the agent, then got the publisher, but it was such a. And obviously there is a rejection on the way because it wouldn't be spending all those years. Yeah. But it's worked out.
And it seems to take a lot longer as well. And I've got 4 books out and I'm very proud of them. I'm proud of the quality of them. So. Oh no!
You actually wouldn't look at those and ask. You just would presume they were published by a publishing house.
Things are changing now as well. So there are a lot of authors who are hybrid authors now that are going for both publishing through through publishing houses and putting out their own books, and they get the best of both worlds in a way.
Now, before we're going to have to round up, so you were hoping to have a launch sometime off a place somewhere.
I'm on the 29th of March. I am. It's a kind of an unusual thing. I'm actually going to be doing it from my house. Because I'm going away, I'm going to have a going away party as well. And for the first part of it, the launch of the book, I still haven't actually figured out the exact details, but Sharon is going to be performing the song. And what I had thought about is, in a way, the book is about online deception, but I've gained so much from technology and from being online. I've met, some wonderful people. And what I would really like to do is, I'm planning on live streaming parts of it, and I'm planning on having people that, are happy to talk to people in Galway, to have them up on the iPad on Skype, playing on the TV, and then having a live feed of that. So for me, that's to show, in a way, the Galway community, but also to kind of connect people. It would be nice if the last thing I did in Ireland was kind of, show people the nice parts as well. And then party later that night. So.
Well, look, it was lovely having you here, and continued success with your books. And we put the link up on Grainne does the art blog for the art show, so we put the link up on that.
If you could put that, would be great for rjsamuel.com, because the links then to everything off that. And thank you so much. It's
great.
Yeah,
and
it's lovely
best
to
of luck with your trip to America and Cleo as well.
Thank you.
We're going to play you out with your last song choice, Passenger Let Her Go.
Oh, okay.
Are the RJs.
And thank you, Matt, for coming in earlier. Talk to you next week from myself and Breda. Bye.
Well, you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go. Staring at the bottom of your glass, hoping one day you'll make a dream last. But dreams come slow and they go so fast. You see it when you close your eyes. Maybe one day you'll understand why everything you touch surely dies. But you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. Staring at the ceiling in the dark, same old empty feeling in your heart. 'Cause love comes slow and it goes so fast. Will you see her when you fall asleep? But never to touch and never to keep. 'Cause you loved her too much and you dive too deep. Where you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know